What's going on, everybody? Marla Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today we are looking at Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 50. And today, folks, we're going to be looking at the first appearance of the Black Cat in the Ultimate Universe. And so that's going to be a pretty cool thing to see Spider-Man going up against Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. And so that's going to be pretty cool as we look at the grand big issue number 50, a big milestone in this series. And so we start out the story today. We have basically Black Cat is seen and she is on the prowl here. And Black Cat in this universe, as we'll soon see, she is a cat. She's basically like a thief. That's all I can say for now. She's like a thief, and she's not a hero. And so that's one thing we need to understand here with the first appearance of the Black Cat. And so it looks like she is peering in on this conversation between these two people here. It looks like she is after something inside this building. She checks her watch at 7:29. And so then these guys basically leave the area. So now Black Cat looks at her watch again. It's now 7:30. It's time to strike here. She uses some kind of propeller gun here. It goes, and then all we see here, it makes a noise. The rope. She gets it, and I mean it's nighttime. We see the bright moon. She then is going to slide down that rope here, and she's going to. I mean, she is very, very cunning here. I mean, she has great reflexes, great agility here. I mean, she knows how to not fall down on a wire here. And so we see that there's these two security guards. They're talking about each other. They are the ones in charge of the surveillance cameras here. All of a sudden, they hear that there's a rooftop alarm. The rooftop alarm is going off because someone has tampered with the alarm. It must be the Black Cat. And so we see this guy's going to send this other guy here to check up on what's going on the roof. He's like, the rooftop alarm. Should we call it in? It's the wind. I'm calling it in. It's the wind. Look, it wasn't even open. This happened before. It happens all the time. It's windy as beep up there. Book says call it in. Oh, so those cops can roll around here and condescend to us? They do that? The cops? Yeah, they do. They think they're all better than us. They are? What? They are better than us. They're cops. Go up there and make sure it's secure. Up where? The roof. The roof? Go check it out. So they're going to go check it out here. He said, meeting's over. He said, you suck. And he said, I'm reading. So he goes up there. He checks. And we see the guy is looking. He's like, that goofball. All of a sudden, Black Cat is going to sneak around, and she's going to see if she can do her best to not get spotted here by this cop here. And so we see that he's like, well, that's just great. So someone went right inside there while the door was still open. Must have been the Black Cat. And so she is running right on surveillance camera. He's not even looking. So Black Cat, I mean, she is such an expert at this stuff. We see there's a janitor here, and she's having all her equipment here, cleaning stuff. It's going squeak, 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 squeak with the rolls, or the wheels on that cart. All of a sudden, we see that she has some kind of power here where she can just look at something and bad luck happens. So this bucket of water is splashed on this woman here. It's stupid, So she is sneaking around the corner. She sprays some kind of, looks like some kind of perfume or something on the surveillance camera so that it will not show what's going on. So both cameras are blacked out here. She then is going to sneak into this door here, and she gets the approved lock here. The lock is overridden here. So she walks inside. She's inside. She sprays a little bit more and she sees there are tripwires all over the place. So, what she's then going to have to do is figure out how to not get in the way of these tripwires. She takes this picture frame down, notices that there is a vault. She's then going to figure out how she can get inside that vault here. She then goes to the computer desk, takes the drawer, looks inside, and she looks into the file cabinet. Wonder what's inside here. All of a sudden, she realizes that the vault just came open by itself, which is kind of strange here. And so we see she looks inside, she peers inside, she takes what's inside, and she realizes it's some kind of clay tablet with ancient writing on it. And she's pretty shocked about it, but she smiles. She has what she's came for. All of a sudden, she hears these two security guards come. They're like, see, oh man, there's a door open. Something's going on. Someone's in there. It's called in. So they are going to go inside, but when they look, the vault is open, the clay tablet is gone, and Black Cat is trying her best not to be seen here. She's scaling this wall like Spider-Man, and we see that she uses her power here. He trips over, it's like bad luck power. He trips over the rug. His gun shot goes off here. His gun is a sping, sping, and he hits the sprinklers here, and the sprinklers come on. These guys are soaking wet. That gives Black Cat the chance to get out of the situation. She's about to leave the scene when all of a sudden Spider-Man shows up and he says, "Hey, what exactly are you doing?" She turns around. He's like, "Oh, wow. You are a considerable step up from the usual riffraff I find sneaking around the rooftops in the middle of the night." So then we're going to see a bit of a chase here between Spider-Man and the Black Cat. She's trying her best to get out of harm's way. All of a sudden, Spider-Man realizes he is out of web fluid. And he said, "Oh, well, that's great. Yeah." And he said, "Oh, man, you wouldn't believe what almost just happened. There I am in midair, almost going to die. And then I remembered I had spider powers and I saved myself. Only you didn't almost killed. You almost got killed. And she stops right there. She leaps right above him, but he's going to use his reflexes to get in the way. This is where she kicks him. He's like, "Oof." We got a fight on our hands here. Spider-Man fighting the Black Cat for the first time. He said, "Come on, lady, stop. Who are you? Hey, Hyper, calm down." And she grabs hold of Spider-Man's arms. "Ah!" And she says, "Cross the Black Cat. 7 years bad luck." And she begins to run here, shoves his face into the concrete. Spider-Man says, did I just have 7 years bad luck, or am I going to have 7 years bad luck? Whoops. And he slips on something here. And Black Cat is able to get out of the way here. She smiles at Spider-Man and leaves. So, wow, what a first appearance of the Black Cat. Black Cat is nowhere to be seen on the premises. And this just so happens to be all a big thing in Peter Parker's mind. As Mary Jane's saying, "Earth to Peter Parker." Is, "Oh, sorry, I just spaced out." And he said, "You were being Spider-Man in your head again." "I was what?" "You do that. You're supposed to be sitting here with me being Peter Parker, and you're supposed to be studying for midterms. But just 10 minutes ago, you were high up in the sky in your costume, all flipping through the air and stuff." So yes, he was thinking about the time he was going after Black Cat. It must have happened not long ago. As we see that MJ is the one that's always helping Peter Parker out with his Spider-Man equipment. She's the one that helps create his tailor-made suit here. And we see that he's, "Oh, I'm just thinking, about what happened." And he doesn't exactly tell her what's going on. And he's like, basically, "Honestly, I was thinking maybe I should put the costume away for a while and just be a normal guy." She said, "Really?" He said, "You'd be cool with that?" He said, would I rather you were not a mile above the sea, risking your neck over some idiot's plan to get revenge on whatever, and spent time here safe with me? I mean, yeah, it would be great if you were here instead of up there. He said, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do, Peter, but I just want to say I'm going to stick with you no matter what. So, what a great girlfriend Mary Jane is here, as we see that then Peter Parker reveals a little bit of that incident with Black Cat. He doesn't tell who Black Cat is or who he fought, but he said he almost died. He says, thing is, I'm not that big on fighting. I don't like it, punching someone, even someone with metal octopus arms. It's not a fun thing to do. But I'm a hero and I have to do what I need to do here. And he said, what I would really love to do is just go on a normal date, just you and me. That's what I really want. She smiles. And while they're talking, all of a sudden, we're going to see that Aunt May is going to come and she's going to say, hey, y'all, Mary Jane, your dad's here. And we also see that Peter Parker tells Mary Jane that, look, maybe we might get married one day. So he's hinting around that. He loves Mary Jane so much, he would like to marry her. And that he would never cheat on Mary Jane Watson. They kiss, and this is where Aunt May says, both of you come to the kitchen. And so, what's going on, Aunt May? Your father's here, Mary. She's like, oh no. And Mary Jane's father's here. And Mary Jane Watson does not like her dad. Her dad cheated on her mom. And he's basically like a household drunk. And he's very demanding. And what we find here is that Mary Jane's dad actually filed through Mary Jane's own personal diary. So that's not cool. That is not cool at all. And he's like, what is this, Mary Jane? Can you please explain to me what this means in your diary? So what exactly did Mary Jane just write in her diary? He said, you read my diary? And we see here, he's like, and wasn't I surprised to read what I read? She said, I hate you, Mary Jane Watson. And she says, I hate you. We see Gwen is like, what's going on? So Aunt May's like, honestly, Craig, you had no right reading her. And Mary Jane dad says, well, then maybe Peter could explain to me what this passage means. I almost died tonight. Oh my goodness, I almost died. If Peter hadn't been at the bridge, I don't know what I would have done. What if no one found my body? I have never been so scared in my whole life. So this is referring to the incident where Green Goblin threw Mary Jane off of that Washington Bridge. And Peter Parker cannot tell Aunt May or Mary Jane's dad exactly what happened because that would reveal to them that he really is Spider-Man. So he's left without an answer. He said, oh, is that how it's going to be? Well, you listen to me, punk. You two are through. That's it. I don't like whatever these little shenanigans you two are up to in that basement all the time. And now I read this. I don't want you coming around my house. I don't want you sneaking around with her in the middle of the night. And if you think you guys are going to be sneaking around at school and that, I won't be, he basically says, sneaking around at school and that I won't find out about it. Well, let me tell you, I will find out about it and I'll yank her out of that school and toss her into a nunnery. And if you think I'm joking, Craig, get out of my house. So Aunt May demands that Craig get out of the house. He storms out of the building. She says, Peter, what happened on the bridge? Peter, I asked you a question. He says, nothing. He said, come on, you have an answer. What exactly happened? He said, look, we were on a date and she lost her balance and she almost fell. And he said, it's okay. And she's like, is that all? Then why didn't you just tell him that? He says, because he's a big jerk. So Aunt May's like, Gwen, come with me. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to go by Mary Jane's place and just see exactly what Craig is up to. He said, get your shoes on. Come on. Peter, you stay. But he's like, come on, I want to go. And she said, no, stay. Peter is now It's like, I can't believe he just looked through her diary. I hope Mary Jane didn't write in her diary anything incriminating about me being Spider-Man. All of a sudden, he looks on the TV, he turns up the volume, and this is where we see Spider-Man was chasing the Black Cat, and Spider-Man is being blamed for joining the Black Cat in this heist here when she stole that clay tablet. And so now Spider-Man is being blamed once again, and it's looking good for Sam Bullock's case for Spider-Man looking like a menace. And so that is how we end this issue number 50, folks. Crazy stuff here with the first appearance of the Black Cat, as well as Mary Jane's father looking at her diary, which is not cool at all. And so I hope you liked this issue, folks. We'll be looking at issue number 51 up next as we continue to see exactly if Spider-Man will run into the Black Cat again and the future of Mary Jane and Peter Parker. We'll find all this out next issue, but go ahead now, give this video a like, comment down below what you liked about this issue, subscribe if you have not, and I will see y'all in the next one.